Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Colin Cowherd podcast. Go on, hit that subscribe button if you're new so you don't miss any of our great football content this season. Let's talk Miami. We're not going to talk too much. Colts beat them 33-8. Okay, first of all, I've been saying this for years. I like the Colts roster. They can't get the quarterback right. When you watched the roster of Miami today against the roster of the Colts, I'm not sure how many Dolphins could start for Indy. The Tua Tyreek Hill thing is done. Mike McDaniel, but I won't blame him entirely. When you have Tua as a quarterback, there's two things you have to have: a good O-line and a backup quarterback, and they don't. So I think it's Chris Greer's the general manager. A lot of this heat's on him. He's not a good enough. Yeah, he's been atrocious. I mean, you have to have a good O-line with Tua. You have to have a good O-line with Jared Goff. And so, I mean, Daniel Jones went 7 for 7 on drives. Never been done. Said that Red Zone said not since 1991. They couldn't find it. So this goes back to Shane Steichen. There's two big takeaways. Miami's done. The second one is here's Steichen taking Daniel Jones, and I don't think Daniel's a franchise guy. But if what I watched today in that division, they could battle for the division.
I'll start with Indy on this one. One, I think Anthony Richardson's starting career was over. I've said it the moment they signed Daniel Jones. Like that thing was, he was in major trouble. The Dolphins secondary is, on paper, could be one of the worst in the NFL. I mean, their corners are atrocious. And the one thing the Colts, I think we underplay their weapons because their quarterback play has been so bad.
Pierce, good.
Pittman's a good player. Tyler Warren was a top 15 pick. Could have been a top 10 pick. The Jonathan Taylor, they have a high-end run game. Like they have legitimate offensive weapons. Same with their offensive line is good. But I would say this about Miami. That franchise is in absolute turmoil. And when Mike McDaniel gets fired, I have a hard time seeing their owner just hiring some other random coordinator. Like he's tried it. It hasn't worked. I put this out on Twitter today. I've been thinking about this. I think he's going to go after a big name. And last year, Ben Johnson would have fallen under a big name. I don't even think that guy's going to exist this year. Who's the Mike Vrabel of this class? It sure as hell ain't Belichick. I don't know if you follow that story. Your boy broke it. It's not looking great. But I'd say Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, Ryan Day. He's going to go after some big name college guys who maybe just go, you know what? I'm over this NIL thing.
Listen? What about Belichick? Got a place in Jupiter, doesn't he? I mean, Miami loves sex appeal. All their teams do. Even the
Does Bill have sex appeal in 2026?
Well, I will tell you this. I don't think he's built for college. I said this before. He and Mike Lombardi, they're NFL guys. I mean, he can't draft. How can he recruit? I don't know. I don't think Belichick's crazy there.
The one thing, if the owner was interested, which is weird because Miami actually had some success against Bill, but obviously he had a front row seat of watching Bill in his division forever. Bill would have to be pretty intrigued if the owner wanted him because he'd get to play the Patriots, right?
That's right.
He clearly despises. So, yeah, maybe I just think he's going to go after a big name. I can't see him going after whoever the hot coordinator is for the Broncos or the Texans or whatever. But they're going to be really, really bad. They have no shot. Today, Tua a couple times, even before the game really is like forcing balls. I mean, if he plays bad, they will get blown out no matter who they play. Good team, average team. If he's off, they are screwed.
Yeah, and I think you have to clean out the building. I think Tua's got a lot of character. I like him, but there's nothing about this team I like. And again, I think there's a gap between the best GMs and the worst, and I just don't think they're a well-run operation. Miami fans are so funny. They get so angry when you're critical, and it's like, guys, you can put the pom-poms down. They don't draft well. They overspend in free agency. The Tyreek Hill thing, I mean, when Andy Reid moves off somebody, when you have Mahomes, it's a pretty good sign. It's coming with baggage. There's stuff behind the scenes you don't. Tyreek struggled, with personal stuff. There's nothing about Miami right now other than like Tua's character. There's nothing I like.
Okay, let's go back to what you said, though. If you're the owner, would you be interested in Belichick, knowing that he clearly, he's proven this now, it's just his way, the highway. He's not listening to anybody. He's just bringing in his people. You basically just hand Bill the keys Like the one thing you watch Pete Carroll today, like he's still got a lot of juice.
Yes.
Pete could have coached in college, could have coached in the pros. Like he feels more like he's 55. You watch Bill, he feels a little old. He feels really grumpy he's always been grumpy. He's extra grumpy. I mean, the resentment and the grudge he's holding on the craft from like Bill, you went 4-12. Andy Reid got fired as well. Same record. 10 years ago. It's the NFL. It happens. Right. Tom Landry got fired. Welcome to pro football. Are you that arrogant to think that you were just untouchable for life? But he is. And the owner, Miami, maybe he's just that desperate because that franchise is just. I make a lot of fun about the Jacksonville Jags. They got more juice right now than the Dolphins. I mean, you could argue.
Oh God, yeah.
Least amount of juice in the league. A team that if they're just never on TV and you never watch, you don't feel like you're missing anything.
And you know what? I'm happy for Chris Ballard, who I know a little bit, because it's sad to say there was a lot of things the last couple of years that weren't discussed publicly, but privately in the building. Jim Irsay was creating chaos. His daughters now, I think, will be less intrusive, less impulsive. I think I think if this team could win 8 or 9 games, sneak in as maybe a wild card team, again, and Daniel Jones will have a market. I mean, good God, today up and down the field. So it's just one of those things where I think Chris Ballard's been on the ropes there for years, but when Andrew Luck retired, he found Carson Wentz, he found Phillip Rivers, they bailed water, they were viable, they were fun to watch. Getting Daniel Jones after today looked like, wow. I mean, it looked a little like a more athletic Phillip Rivers. You don't have a great player, but you have a guy that can pick up first downs. He took a shot today to the head, scrambling off to the right. Daniel Jones'
he can
decision.
Move. He's a good athlete.
No question. San Francisco 17, Seattle 13. This was a wildly frustrating game if you're a Niner fan. So my first take is this. Brock Purdy had 2 picks, but I thought it was one of the more impressive outings I've ever seen for Brock Purdy. I really meant that. Everything's going against him. You're on the road, one of the loudest stadiums. Seattle's defense is really good and really young. Jake Moody, field goal missed, field goal blocked. So there's frustration. George Kittle gets hurt. Trent Williams. You've heard of the Blue Man Group. The Niners have a blue tent group. They got old dudes that head of the blue tent a lot. And I thought 26 of 35, 277, a great last drive. Well, it's amazing that touchdown pass to the tight end, Tyreek Woolen. It really, when he let it go, you were like, oh my God, this is a terrible throw. But that's the NFL. You have to throw guys open. So he throws the ball into a crowd. When the ball's released, it looks like a pick. But, the DB got burned twice on that same drive. So my take is the stat line, 2 TDs, 2 picks, won't speak well of Brock Purdy. I was really impressed.
Yeah, their offensive line's not great. He's running for his life. If he couldn't move, they would be in major trouble. His mobility and keeping plays alive. I also think, and I've come to grips with this, because I remember when he came out and he started playing well in the NFL, I started texting around. I'm like, how I understand he's smaller, but he couldn't go in the 4th or 5th round. People thought he was an awful decision maker, which is ironic because Kyle Shanahan, you'd think, a great decision maker. He's got a little gunslinger in him. I always said, you got to play like Breeze, no turning the ball over, a little like Rodgers, never put the ball in harm's way. We're going on, if you go back to last year, how many second-half interceptions is this guy throwing? And he's throwing some pretty bad ones. And like you said, that game-winning touchdown, when the ball left his hands, I thought, interception, third interception of the half.
Right.
And listen, he gave his guy a chance. He's got to be driving Kyle a little nuts. But part of that is also the playmaking that he comes through. Because like you said, Kittle's out early in the game. After Kittle, the first drive of the game, looked like, a Hall of Famer. Juwan Jennings, as the game goes on, hurts his shoulder. He's out. He's throwing to people. I follow this team pretty close. I have no clue who these guys are. Who's he throwing these balls to? Obviously, Ricky Pearsall. That looks like, for as bad as the Jake Moody draft pick is, Ricky Pearsall was fantastic today.
He was.
And I'm with you. Listen, these guys swear by Brock Purdy because mentally tough, does not just go into the tank after. He easily could have gotten into the tank after both interceptions, and he keeps swinging. McCaffrey obviously helps. He's clearly
oh my
a huge
God.
upgrade.
It's amazing how often he makes 4 out of 1. Saquon Barkley does this. We get caught up on the big explosive run. Barkley and Christian McCaffrey. I mean, how many times was there nothing there and he squirts out 3.5, 4 yards? He's so devastating.
I think this offense is very, very difficult to operate, and Kyle is not the easiest guy to deal with as a quarterback. And I think he has a lot. Honestly, he should have more faith in Brock. There were a couple times in the middle of the games, like they're running it right up the middle. It's like, hey, if I on my couch know the ball's going up the middle of McCaffrey, have some faith in this guy. Let him make some plays. Let his mobility come out to play. At the end of the game, they didn't have a choice, and Brock came through. Now, I do think there's a little element of luck with the touchdown pass. I mean, I don't know where you would land on that. It's not the greatest decision. I know it worked. Listen, sometimes in the NFL, you got a 6'4", 6'5" guy. You got to let him have an opportunity to make a play. And he did, because I'm with you. I thought Brock would have, if they would have lost this game, now the interceptions were not ideal. They had a lot of other stuff going on that they had to fix. And whenever you don't have a kicker, it's kind of like having a bad bullpen. Having an NBA guy that always has bad fouls. Like it's sometimes it's hard to overcome that, and that's a big picture problem for the Niners. But hey, listen, you get a win on the road, as Greg Olson was saying. He's like, God, this place is really loud right now. It's hard to hear. So they got to feel pretty good, though. They had some major injuries today.
Well, they got a little break on the touchdown, and plus Sam Darnold goes up the left sideline for 41. Seattle's poised to win it, and then Darnold, and this has been one of his knocks, where he brings the ball down and up. He's got a slower release. That's been one of the knocks. And he brings the ball up. It hits a teammate. It's on the carpet. Bosa alertly picks it up. I mean, good for Bosa. But, I mean, it's that's a little bit of luck. Sam fumbles it, hitting a teammate, because he was ready to let it rip. So I think these teams, I went 3-2 in my Blazing 5. If Darnold scores there, I'm 4-1. So I was pretty happy with it. But the truth is, when I watch that game, the difference is in Thanksgiving, which team do you think is healthier? And that's been my knock on San Francisco. I thought today it was a must-win for the Niners. I did not think it was a must-win for the Seahawks, because Seattle's got more athletes that are younger athletes recover more quickly, and over a 17-game schedule, guys get dinged up. So, I mean, game one, Kittle gets hurt. Trent Williams in the blue tent. McCaffrey will miss a game or two. That's the reality of this team. Hufunga's gone. Greenlaw's gone. So, I mean, there's Bosa tends to miss a game or two. So I thought it was this was a big 49er win. Everybody will go, oh, it's the opener. It felt big to me.
Oh, especially with, it felt like the kicker was going to blow it. I thought the big winner today for the 49ers, beside Purdy on that game-winning throw, was Robert Saleh. And you talk about coordinators, and he was on the fence about coming out or coming back. There were a lot of different reports. They threw a ton of money at the guy. Remember a couple years ago when the Eagles got Fangio? Fangio wanted to go there. He couldn't wait to get to Miami. Robert had a lot of options. He just made a ton of money being a head coach. He could have easily taken 6 months off. They were begging him. I mean, if the Niners hadn't got him, they would have been in major trouble. Beside Bosa, Fred Warner gets dinged up early in the game. Niners got a lot of random guys out there running around on defense, making plays. And I think Robert Saleh, one major question mark since DeMeco got the job with Houston. They went through Steve Wilkes, who was a weird fit. They had a guy last year who was a special teams coordinator. It didn't work with Sorensen. And now you got Robert Saleh, a guy that knows what he's doing. I mean, think about the Jets defense. Hell, even the Jets defense, I like Aaron Glenn defense, getting shredded.
Was terrible today.
But Robert Saleh has proven, I think we need to talk about him as one of the better defensive guys.
No question.
Isn't even just scheme, it's motivation. I think he's kind of the total package. So the Niners, he came big today. He was awesome.